Hello and welcome to the Gaming Chronicles. Today we will begin Space Quest 4, Roger Wilco and the Time Rippers. First released in 1991 on floppy, we will be playing the 1992 version released on CD-ROM, I believe. And it seems that there's a kind of a, maybe it's not hotly debated, but it seems like there's a little bit of a contention out there about the floppy versus the CD-ROM version. And I'm not going to get into that, but I never knew. The CD-ROM version was the only version I ever knew. And so, I knew that there was, the floppy copies out there somewhere, but I didn't know that it ever became like a source of debate on, the floppy's better, or, the floppy's the original, so the CD-ROM is not valid, whatever the argument is. I never knew. But anyway, let us enjoy this game that is narrated by Gary Owens. And, yep, here we go.
Roger Wilco as he rockets back toward his home planet Xenon, which he hasn't seen since Space Quest 2. Having successfully rescued those two ingrates from Andromeda, he decides a pit stop on Magmethius is in order.
Absolutely. Let's go wet our whistle a bit, take a break from all this exhausting flying through space.
During the descent to this cosmic canteen, he is unaware of the interest that has been generated regarding his fate.
Yeah, he's become quite the person of interest now. He's made a lot of ripples throughout the galaxy, saved a lot of people, made a few friends, made a lot more enemies. And now, well, you can only guess that this is probably not one of those friends. Because the friends he made, well, they don't really stay in contact, we'll say.
We have confirmation of his position, Master.
Off to Magmethius with you, then. It is time for Wilco to meet the fate which I have crafted for him.
As our story begins, we find the aluminum mallard parked outside a seedy spaceport bar.
Oh, he's gonna lose it. Oh no! Oh dear. Oh dear, that's dramatic.
We join Roger as he relates one of his greatly exaggerated tales of adventure. The aliens are only too happy to listen, as long as Roger is by.
See, there was this deadly root monster, a ferocious swamp creature, and a Labion terror beast to contend with. Then I had to outsmart another of Vohal's gorillas and steal the show.
Are you Roger Wilco?
Yeah.
Please come with me.
Oh, Roger, so unsuspecting and so trusting. Now, who could it possibly be? Oh, look, it's an old friend.
Wilco, surprised to see an old friend? You have no idea how special this moment is for me. This is no chance encounter, I can assure you. I have this one loose end to tie up before I begin my reign as the supreme being of all that exists.
It's pretty ambitious, Vohal.
I do not like to lose. You are a blemish on what would otherwise be a perfect record of domination, terror, and invincibility. Besides, I'm still a bit miffed about that asteroid deal in Space Quest 2.
I can't get over that, huh?
Anyway, to relieve the pain of my humiliation and to prevent you from being a pain in my future, you must die. It's been nice seeing you one last time. Then, do the dirty deed.
Whoops, they forgot a sentence in the audio. Oh well, no one cares. Oh look, interlopers! But are they friend or foe?
Mr. Wilco, follow me and do exactly as I say. Let's move!
Okay, yeah, I'll do what you say, even though I just barely followed another pair of guys with space guns out of the bar.
Hey.
What?
I want to know what the...
Listen, I can't explain it all to you now. They've got a beat on our coordinates. We've got to move fast. We gotta do this fast. Shield your eyes!
Oh, yep, I'll just do exactly what you say. Don't want anybody shooting at us. I'll just jump in the,
Do it now! You've got to! If I take the time to explain we're both parking lot pizza. You'll understand soon.
Oh, sure, I guess it's better than being shot by a laser beam. Right? Right. So now we're off to who knows where. It's kind of Roger's thing. We're off to who knows where to do who knows what, for who knows why, and when, and how, and what, and... Oh, look! We're alive! But where and when?
Now where am I? You wonder aloud to non-existent auditory organs. This place sure looks homey. Hey, wait, this looks just like Xenon. It is Xenon. It's really a Pio. Along with the changes induced by an armed conflict, the city looks different, more modern, with a heavy dash of post-disaster seasoning. Casually glancing at the status line, you happen to notice that you're in Space Quest 12. What's happened? Who was that guy with the overdeveloped hairdryer? Why did you let yourself be talked into jumping into some strange shimmering hole? Why are you talking to yourself? These incredibly intriguing questions will quickly be forgotten with barely an electron stirred in that well-armored orb atop your shoulders.
Alright, so here we are. Finally got control of the player. Let's, I guess just gander around here.
The structure in the background captures your curiosity. A twisted and broken expanse of cityscape stretches south from here, negating possible travel plans in that direction. Decaying and destroyed buildings now house the apparently non-existent population of Xenon.
Alright.
You are in the southern area of a rare clearing in this destroyed cityscape. Your home, as you remember it, does not exist in this period of time. A huge boil of a structure clogs the horizon.
That's quite descriptive. Okay. Oh, hey, what's up, bunny?
A brightly colored mechanical hair wanders about.
Which is definitely not the Energizer bunny at all. Okay, let's go. Oh, we're gonna adjust our speed. That's right. Up. That should do it. I like it just under maximum speed. I think. Yeah. That's good. Come on, Raj. There we go.
A battered and boarded storefront shows the wear and tear a little war can have on it.
Alright, we need that little piece of rope right there.
You take the small, frayed, useless-looking length of rope.
Oh, we need to go hide behind this pillar so we can grab that bunny. Okay. Time for some rabbit snatching. Oh, go away, zombie, go away. I don't think it can get us when we're back here. And if I remember correctly, I think it has a set,
That was without a doubt
Nice,
one
first
of the
try.
finest examples of bunny snatching I've ever seen. The stress placed on the rope during the bunny snatching was too much. You cast the useless fibers aside.
Okay. I remember the first time that I did that. I think it took me a good, like, 6 or 7 tries, not gonna lie. Kind of embarrassing how, difficult it was.
A once prosperous bank building stands partially wrecked and sealed shut.
Okay, we need to go this way. This way? Yeah, there we go.
Quick inspection reveals nothing of interest other than a glove box.
Now, technically, we don't even need this thing. This
Keep
is
your hands to
a lot of the stuff that we do. Well, like a lot of Sierra games, right? A lot of the things that you do to solve the puzzles and to figure out progression.
After taking a quick look around to reassure yourself that the place is as dead as it looks. You snitch the pocket laptop.
Most of the time, it's just
Don't
for you don't need to, right? It's mostly just for points at that, after you've figured something out. But anyway, we'll do everything for the points, just 'cause. At least everything that I remember, we do for the points. Okay, I think if we stand behind this pillar, we're safe, I think.
Surprisingly, no one has taken this small, innocuous-looking piece of unstable ordnance.
Now for this one, I think.
Okay, you now have the unstable ordnance. Remember, it was your idea. Good luck. You
Uh,
can't do
we just pick it up and then put it back in, and it's just like I said, just for
a
points.
very wise choice. Carefully placing the unstable ordnance back inside the tank, you decide some things are better left alone.
If you hold on to it, it blows up somewhere. Ooh, here comes the robot. I think we're. Oh crap! I think we're safe here. Oh, ah. Okay, we got the little jingle, so we got the points for it. All right, now let's get out of here. This is all we need to do. Now, this part alone on the first part here of Xenon, I don't know how long it took me to figure it out, but yeah, get in that sewer. The zombie's gonna show up anytime. All right, let's save our game. Let's see. Let's just overwrite one of my old files here. Where's my sewers? There it is. We'll just overwrite that one. All right, let's look around.
You've reached the sewer maintenance office. Apparently, this office has been long abandoned. Your janitorial instincts urge you to sweep up and do a little dusting, but you suppress those urges and concentrate on the task at hand.
Yeah, like he was ever a good janitor. I mean, Roger was probably the worst janitor in the galaxy, for reals. So I have a hard time believing that his janitorial urges actually kicked in. And did I mention his hair? Did I say that already? Like, why is his hair blonde instead of brown? Why did that change? That was unnecessary.
You take the jar into custody.
Very important, this jar. It's one of the most important items in the game. Well, in fact, a lot of the items. There's only like 3 items that are actually crucial in the whole
a
game.
button. Perhaps I'll give it a press.
Oh, here we go. There's some dialogue we'll listen to.
Entry 22795. This message is to whomever may be so fortunate as to find it. I am Professor Lloyd, lead designer of the Xenon supercomputer project, the ultimate in artificial intelligence. The computer was designed to enhance our lives, but instead ended up being the ruin of us all. We made the mistake of tying it into the most important facets of our existence here on Xenon, including our weather control and defense systems. It seemed like a sound idea at the time, and all proceeded well for about 3 years. It was around then that a deep space salvage operation recovered what appeared to be some sort of antiquated data storage unit contained in a flimsy cardboard box, on which the words Leisure Suit Larry were
Of course.
imprinted. On its back was the picture of a not particularly wholesome gentleman, but that's another story. My counterparts exhibited shameful behavior as they tore open the box to get at its contents. I could not understand the commotion it generated. The data was uploaded into the supercomputer for analysis.
Uh-oh.
As a result, a crippling virus spread through the machine like a bad social disease. All control of the computer was lost. All screens went blank. Then these words were displayed by the monitors and uttered by the vocal outputs. Wilco must pay. From that day forth, the possessed computer waged war on the inhabitants of Xenon, using our own weapons against us. Some managed to escape to other planets. Those of us who remained stayed to fight the machines and robots under its control. It was a bloody war. Those of us that were not killed were taken captive and modified. These cyborgs infiltrated the loyal ranks of resistance, rooting out almost all of our hiding places and exposing us to the mechanical menace. Some of these poor souls still wander the streets. As of this recording, we are down to only a handful of rebels. My health is deteriorating rapidly. To make matters worse, I've just learned that the computer has unraveled the mysteries of time travel. I've sent my 2 best men to attempt to steal this new technology. If you are not a machine, then perhaps they were successful. Please realize You are Xenon's last hope.
Okay, so we get the exposition of what's going on, and even if you're not trying to beat this quickly, I don't think that there's any actual useful information in there. You can kind of figure things out as you go along. So anyway, yeah, there's really no reason to watch all that.
The strange little pedestal has wires running between it and the wall.
But you do it. You just do it when you do a playthrough, just because it's like, well, at least the first playthrough when you finally get to the sewers, that's the thing. It's like when you finally get here to the sewers, this is considered like a safe spot, one of the few safe spots in the game, I might add, because the rest of the time there's stuff chasing you, whether it's zombies or death droids or not space police, sequel police. Um, it's a highly stressful game. Anyway, let's go into the sewers. And apparently it was supposed to be obvious to turn this wheel, because when you inspect it...
There's an open hatch set into a cylindrical structure here. You recognize it as the entrance to the sewer system.
Okay, so before you open it, and you click on this little door, or the little valve, not the valve, the wheelie thing that opens up the door, the lock. It doesn't even give you an indication that it's something you're supposed to interact with. Anyway, there's also an Easter egg here that was unknown for many years. We're not going to do it, but you have to position Roger just right down in the bottom corner here. Click on the Buxoid, and then you get a nice little slideshow that was put in by, was it Mark or Scott? I don't remember. But it's kind of cool, especially because there's a swear in there, and that was a no-no back then, and it probably wouldn't have passed quality monitoring and quality testing had that been discovered. And I don't remember how.
No. The door has shut, and there's no way back. What are you going to do now?
Yeah, basically, you better have, well, the jar. You don't need either of these, really, but you do need the jar. So if you didn't pick that jar up, if it wasn't obvious, you're hosed, and you gotta either restore or restart. But anyway, I don't know how many years it went unknown. I didn't know about it myself until the days of the internet, and YouTube started posting, or people started making videos on YouTube, and that's how I discovered it. And I thought, wow, that's cool. Definitely would have never known about that. Okay, let's go ahead and scoop this up. This is always a little nerve-wracking to do this part.
You scoop up the slimy secretion. Better get away now before it scoops you up.
Yes, thank you. Use the hand, not the walking icon. I've tried to just walk to the ladder before and forget that you have to use the hand to interact with it, and then the ooze ends up eating me. And it has not happened only once. Oh, who could this be? Here come the sequel police to do a patrol of the area. Oh, this takes so long. Not really. I mean, for cutscenes, this was so cool to be able to see, Roger up front, to see all this interactive stuff, and see his, his facial expressions, especially how often his mouth is gaping wide open in shock. Like, Roger, you should not be surprised at these things. You should be kind of used to finding yourself in sticky situations.
The manhole cover is getting heavy.
Yeah, okay, we're going. Alright, we gotta go. Now, this part, back in the day, was a problem.
This seems to be a relatively spacious landing gear compartment. Wonder how cramped it gets in there when the gear is stowed.
Because of the way that the timing worked on various PCs, your processing speed, if it were a certain speed, you'd kind of get hosed depending on the processing speed, because there would be a guard there, and then you get stuck, and you'd have to like go download a mod or a plugin or whatever it was, and that was the CD-ROM version. I think it was the CD-ROM, not the floppy. The floppy version, I think, had less bugs or less problems as far as like quality of life playthrough stuff than the CD-ROM version did. But but with modern technology, those plugins are not required anymore.
This is the patrol shuttle you hitched a ride on. This is the middle section of the supercomputer's landing bay. The ship you hitched a ride on rests here.
So we're in the supercomputers. So that big menacing thing was a supercomputer. Go figure, right? And why was lightning striking it? I guess just to give it a more sinister feel. Here comes some more sequel
I've
police.
just completed a scan of the Labion sector of Space Quest 2. No sign of presence at this time.
To this day, I don't understand what that little interaction is all about after the Space Quest 2 comment. Okay, so we are at another safe point, so we will save here. Now, I think this is where the copy protection usually would come in. Oh, we need to record this. We need to write this down. Okay, so now we have to write this code down so that we can get back to Space Quest 12 later on. And okay, so the way I do this, or the way I did this back in the day, was I would assign these columns A, B, C, D, E, and then A, 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 kind of like a cell. Okay, get the hand out of the way. What is that thing? And these symbols are hard-ish to read versus the floppy. That one, I think I do remember that people complained about when the CD-ROM version came out, that it was more difficult to read these symbols versus the floppy disk. It was supposed to be an improvement. Let's see, that's D2, but it really wasn't. Let's see, C2 and then A3. All right, let me double check. So I've got B3, A3, D2, A2, C2, and then A3. Okay. All right, so we can go ahead and clear that out and just do...
Keep your hand.
Any code will do, because the first one is always wrong.
The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time-rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally, nothing much happened. That must not have been a valid code. Try again.
Okay. Now, the very first time I tried this, I just tried the code that was already entered. I just pressed enter. And, of course, nothing worked. Nothing happened. And it might have even cleared it. So then without... Of course, I didn't write it down. So it punched it clear. And so now I'm panicking because I don't know what to do. There's nothing in the manual about this. In fact, let's go to the manual real quick. I did pull this up because I wanted to show... Where is it? The copy protection. This was the copy protection that you had to enter in, and I think that there was only like 7 of these that could even be a possibility of coming up, if I remember correctly, on the copy protection piece of it to the floppy. And so, but I never had to deal with this, fortunately. But anyway, I didn't know what to do at this point. I just sat here thinking, okay, what do I do? And so, then you enter in the first code, doesn't work, and then I swear I just probably sat here for, I don't know,
drives
let's
rev to
say
life.
15 minutes. I might have
Time and space
actually,
bend under the fibrillations of the time rip
I might have just walked away
Your
from the
adrenaline
computer. I don't remember. I
stomach
was,
reel with
how
the
old was I in
hyperbolic
92?
hyperbole.
I was 9?
And finally,
Yeah. I was just old enough to like, get interested, genuinely in, video games, computer games, that kind of stuff. But not quite smart enough to, pick up on all the nuances. All right, here we go. We're in Space Quest 10. I don't think we need this one, right? I don't think this one we need. So I think we can just exit. Let's
Peering
look.
through the port, you see an unusual land.
Yeah, we
Its
don't need to come back here.
wind-carved pinnacles and buttes bring back memories of the planet Corona, where this whole adventure mess started.
Yep, that's right. Okay, let's leave. Now, we can't dilly-dally, because if we do, the sequel police will
You've
show
seen a lot
up.
of plateaus and sloping hills before, but this one's a butte. The entire horizon undulates in enticing peaks, curves, and crevices for which Estros is
Okay,
famous.
just, yeah, that whole narration was an innuendo, just in case that wasn't picked up on. I didn't pick up on it until, well, many times after playing through. It wasn't when I was 9 years old, that's for sure.
Whoa! What was that?
Ah, the voice of Roger Wilco, the first time we hear our hapless hero's voice. Now, of course, we don't need to go down here, but there's a little...
A mysterious shadow quickly moves from your view.
gives you a kind of an indication of what's to come.
As you look around at the towering rocks, immense formations carved over millions of years, you can't help but be overwhelmed by a sense of your own insignificance.
Oh, man. Yeah. Okay, let's go back up. We don't need to go any further. If we just go down there, well, we're going to be in that screen anyway. And there aren't a lot of map screens in this game. Okay, let's come down here, make sure we don't fall off. Oh no!
Wow, what an incredible view! You look pretty pathetic hanging under the pterodactyl. Wow!
I'm sure we do. Now, is it a pterodactyl or a pteranodon? Nobody cares. Alright. There is the big bird's nest. Oh,
Hey,
doink.
those Talon things hurt. You didn't much care for the landing either.
Now, I don't think, yeah, we don't see it in this version. Oh dear, that's gotta hurt.
My. Rather than the sequel policeman penetrating the inner sanctum of the nest, the reverse obviously occurred.
Alright, so and maybe, I don't know, the is it this floppy version? So up top here, you see you get a little Easter egg where you see the big rock fly across the screen with King Graham from King's Quest V. So let's look at this guy. What's going on? Oh wait, we need to do the interact.
You frisk the skewered sequel policeman and turn up a paper-wrapped wad of used chewing gum.
Alright, let's get out of here. Oh dear. It's a good thing we landed in water. I mean, it totally didn't even look like Roger was looking where he was falling. He just jumped out of the nest willy-nilly. Uh-oh. We have... And the latex babes have shown up. Oh, what's going on now? Oh, she's got a harpoon gun.
You've got a lot of nerve coming back here, Roger Wilco.
The voice acting on these ladies is hilarious.
You male scum.
And their lines.
This is the last woman you will ever dump on. Right, girls?
Right.
Right.
said
Love
you
that.
couldn't be tied down.
I said that?
You said you had to be free to roam the galaxy.
Was that me?
You'll be sorrier than you look. We'll see to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is her name? I can't remember. Do we even find out her name? We probably do. Oh yeah, she says. I think they say her name or she says her name. Now it's very important that
She looks like she might be familiar to you someday. However, the gun in her hand looks like it could limit the chance of any lasting relationship in the future. Or the past. Her spear gun is pointed in a direction that eliminates any need for second thought. This one looks committed to finding out just how good you'd look on a spit.
So if you try to do anything else besides get in the submarine, they kill you. Found out that the hard way. Of course, just like everything in Space Quest and King's Quest and
Hey, there's an
Sierra
odd-looking specimen.
related.
What have I stepped into? You hope these women soon realize that they must have the wrong guy.
Wait, what?
What have I stepped into this time? You think to yourself, as the latex babe's submarine.
This is Zandra. We are approaching checkpoint 6. Prepare to open the
Zandra.
front door.
That's right. Zandra.
Activate the door.
Now, I don't know or remember, but it seems like this part of Space Quest 4 was, well, I mean, most Space Quests include parodies of stuff anyway, so it wouldn't surprise me. But was it a movie? It seems like this is a parody of a movie. I mean, pterodactyls, a barren wasteland of a planet, dinosaurs, and then random women in swimming suits that have an underground lair, that's safe, from the outside world or whatever. That's got to be a parody of something. I think it was a movie, but I mean, it could have been a parody of a lot of movies back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, pick your decade, or possibly another
Mr.
game.
Wilco.
Who knows? I'm sure it is though. Oh dear.
Hey, what are you doing? Let me go, witch.
Shut up. Your whimpering sickens me. I'll teach you not to run out on me. Thorine is quite
Thorine.
knowledgeable in the ways of torture. I'll let the two of you get
She looks
acquainted.
like she's way happy to be getting down to business.
With pleasure, Zandra.
Oh dear. This won't end well. Oh crap.
Let me introduce
Look at that
you to
eyebrow
a friend
twitch.
of mine.
Oh, I remember those
This
things from
is
back in the...
Whip 357, the most powerful hand-hair remover in the universe, and it's capable of shaving your legs clean off.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna pause. We're gonna take the mouse up here. So these things, back in the 80s or 90s, I think it was mostly the 90s, these were actually a thing. I remember seeing commercials about this, or something like this. They were epilators. Yeah, the epilators. That's what they were called. And I remember that they were painful to use. Like real life, they were painful to use. And I think most of they were used for shaving legs, but you'd get your gals that would say, yeah, they're fine after you use them 10 or 12 times. It's like, oh man, yeah, these epilators, they were a short fad because they were just so painful to use. And so, anyway, appropriate that they're throwing this in as far as a means of torture.
I've always wanted to see a man shave with one of these, but I guess you'll do. Now you'll know the meaning of the word pain.
She's way too enthusiastic. Oh, saved by the sea monster.
It's a sea slug! Run, girls!
All right, so we have to wait until it grabs the chair? Yeah. Okay, as soon as it...
Desperately, you try to push the button, but the restraints are just too tight.
Okay, we have to be free.
Desperately.
Come on. Yeah, it shocks the little mouth thing. We have to grab the tank and then throw it in the mouth quickly. Not quite a Jaws moment, but hey. Yeah, we're a hero. Hooray. Notice how I did not cuddle with Zandra. I'm like, forget you.
Great, girls? Well, Raj, I guess we can call it even. Thank you for ridding our fortress of that slimy, awful sea slug. I know I can't blame you for backing out at the last minute. I guess I was a little overbearing. Sorry. Can we still be good friends?
Sorry, can we be friends?
Well, now, wait a minute. Let's talk about this.
No, Roger. You were right. You don't need to spare my feelings. It just wasn't meant to be. It's better this way. Well, girls,
Is it?
I feel like celebrating. Let's go shopping.
So we're going to shop to celebrate the death of the sea slug and the reconciliation of our platonic friendship.
Meanwhile, back in Space
Fantastic.
Quest 12,
Well, what have we here?
This is the rebel scum we captured in the Space Quest 4 time sector. He had just aided Wilco in escaping. The readout on his time gun indicates that Wilco was successfully transported into this time sector as you feared.
That is no longer a concern. Wilco will surrender to us once he has learned we have captured his son. Then he will be destroyed once and for all.
Oh yeah, so sinister and evil. Alright, here we are at the mall. The Galaxy Galleria. Great place to spend all of your money. Alright, this is a good breaking point, I feel. So we'll go ahead and save our game and resume the next part of our adventure in our next episode. We'll pick up that little card first.
you pick up the ATM card.
Alrighty, now we will open it. Now we will save our game. Surely I have a shopping mall file. Yes, I do. Alrighty, so until our next episode, hopefully we'll be able to get through all of the mall part. We'll see. It's the least favorite of my parts if repressed memory serves. So until our next episode, so long for now.